Our next speaker is a warrior in Springfield. Jeanne Ives was elected in the last election cycle, and she has taken on Madigan. Right off the bat, she went up there. She is fighting for the people in her district. I am one of them. I thank her, and we'll do everything we can to support her. So please welcome State Rep Jeanne Ives.
Carol Davis, hello, hello, hello. I'm not so eloquent, but I've got some eloquent words here, I think, and things that'll resonate you. And I'm just amazed, and I want to thank you so much for the invitation to speak to you today. It's been a rough 3 weeks in Springfield as the House voted to ban the sale of baby bumpers for cribs, as we, gave something to the unions and told GM the state won't buy some of their cars anymore, and as we passed a constitutional amendment that you, the Tea Party, alerted us to, that Speaker Madigan admitted on the floor to me that he would use to block a voter ID law in the future. And yet that constitutional amendment passed. Only 5 of us voted against it. So there's nothing more uplifting than to be with you here tonight and to be among Americans who have the courage to stand for what's right. And standing up for our rights is not new in American history. From the first American Tea Party leaders who stood up to the British, to the Tea Party folks today who are standing up to the IRS, you guys make a difference. And I'm blown away. I'm blown away by your dignity, your sense of right and wrong, your love for America, and your desire to see all Americans succeed. And I've been moved by your passion to save America. You have taken action and become a household name, organizing, writing books, making informative videos, and designing games to teach our children about the Constitution. You have so threatened the political structure in the United States that those in charge have made you a target for retribution. I think you should be proud of that. I know each of you holds just inside you just a little bit of the Founding Fathers' rebellious and questioning nature. As all Americans appreciate those attributes in the signers of the Declaration of Independence, so I appreciate the same in you. And it is an honor for me to be speaking to you today. Churchill once said, "Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few." Of course, he was speaking about those who stood up against the aggression in World War II. For you see, it's the few that take a stand for the many that will cause the change for the future, good or bad. A few years back, Peter Roskam introduced me to a book called Troublesome Young Men. Written by Lynn Olson, its subtitle is The Rebels Who Brought Churchill to Power in 1940 and Saved Britain. It weaves the lives of about 8 courageous individuals who stood up against appeasement and put their differences aside to build a coalition with the sole goal of putting Churchill in power, just when the British needed a leader whose motto was never, never, never give up. Leo Amory was one of those troublesome young men, one of those rebels. In 1940, in the speech Amory gave dismissing Chamberlain and leading to Churchill's elevation to prime minister, Amory used Cromwell's old words, saying, "You have sat here too long for any good you have been doing. Depart, I say, let us have done with you. In the name of God, go." And that's exactly what we need to say in Illinois. You have sat here too long. Depart, I say, let us be done with you. That is our rallying cry to the long-serving politicians that have threatened our livelihoods. You see, we believe that free men and women have the right to retain the fruits of their labor and to either save or enjoy those fruits as they desire, leaving something to their heirs, or, as individual conscience dictates, donate to those who have been not so fortunate. In contrast, this state only wants to continue to confiscate more of the fruits of our labor. And when they do so, we know they overpay for services for less results, especially when compared to other states. But we believe the American dream is not a right, but an opportunity every American has been presented. In contrast, those in charge in Illinois believe opportunity is only advanced by the spending of more tax money, regardless of outcomes. And we believe that this has been and still is the greatest of all nations on the face of the earth. Those in charge believe instead that our system is inherently unfair and unjust, and so it's justifiable to modify laws through executive action rather than going through the legislature. Now, if pointing out these beliefs in contrast makes me a rebel and troublesome to the political class, so be it. In Illinois, it's time to be troublesome because the politicians in charge now are burdensome. They are burdensome to taxpayers, burdensome to business, and burdensome to those truly in need. But you know what else? You know what's worse? They're bothersome. I'm bothered by them. I'm bothered by the politics they play to their own advantage in complete disregard for those affected by their decisions. So on your behalf, I will continue to be troublesome, just as troublesome as possible in Springfield. And watch out, because guess what? We're forming our own coalition of troublesome young men and women to take back this state. And it can be done, and I hope you're going to join me. Because we need to remind the politicians and the bureaucrats that have created the worst economy in Illinois, and according to a recent poll, the least trusted state government, that we demand the nonsense stops. Now, Winston Churchill also said it's the courage to continue that counts. I know the work to me, and I know it seems to you, it just seems endless. The journey seems tiresome, and the voters unaware. But remember, it only takes a few to respectfully, with facts on our sides, question the current politicians enough to get reform moving. The answer is to keep building the coalition of rabble-rousers, expose the failed policy decisions of those in charge, and take a firm stand in Illinois by demanding real reforms, or else we will leave nothing for our children but empty storefronts and empty promises. We cannot grow weary at the task before us. Instead, let's see ourselves as the troublesome folks willing to take a stand for the future. And remember, never, never, never give up. Thank you. It's been wonderful to be with you here tonight. Thank you very much.